audience, and welcome to episode number 5 of the Z-Hack and Witness Show. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in today, and thank you so much for the love and support as always on episode 1 through 4. And we are super excited today, very special episode. It is the first guest of the Z-Hack and Witness Show in the house today. He is PGA Tour Pro, the 2013 NCAA individual champion, and the 2019 Wells Fargo Championship winner. Everyone welcome Max Homa to the show. Max, thanks for being here. How are you today, man?
I'm good. I'm glad to finally do this. I know we've been trying to set it up, and I have flaked about 14 times. So it was good to finally make it happen.
Hey, listen, you have a busy schedule yourself. And on top of that, out of the gates, I don't know if I'm happy with you or not, because I might owe Witness $10 because I bet him that you would either have a Dodgers hat or a Kobe shirt on.
Dang, that's a safe bet usually.
You went with the Rams, though, so you kind of screwed me today.
Hey, it's LA.
Oh, man, that's perfect. So, Max, thank you again for joining us and welcome to the show. Before we get started and jump into everything here, so you're a PGA Tour professional. A lot of our audience comes from the gaming community. So if you can just fire away and give us the sort of quick elevator speech of who Max Homa is, how would you describe it?
Yeah, just somebody trying to do their job best they can. Mine just happens to be with some golf clubs occasionally on TV. Turned pro 2013, been on the PGA Tour now. This is my 4th or 5th year. So, just trying to game a little on the side. It's honestly more fun than golf, typically a little bit more lively. But yeah, the golf pays for, like the PlayStation and all the stuff I use to actually have some fun. So I appreciate the golf. It is the stepping stone to hopefully my rise up from the depths of bad, Call of Duty gaming.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you're no stranger to kind of this environment either. So you actually have a podcast of your own with Shane Bacon that you guys do on a somewhat weekly basis. So tell me a little bit about that with as far as everything goes over there for you.
Yeah, Shane's, he's been a commentator for Fox for a while. He's just super well versed in a lot of things, but, especially golf. So we decided to kind of put together our own little podcast where we have, kind of 2 angles. We have the fan commentator from Shane, and then obviously me, I have some credibility in the field. But yeah, just, I guess everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing the podcast thing. Yeah, just a little credibility. So yeah, we're good buddies. We talk, all things golf. I try to slip in some video game stuff here and there, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. So I kind of he kind of misses on that. But other than that, yeah, get a grip. It's been pretty fun. You guys are doing it. It's kind of a nice little hobby.
That's why we're loving to have that now. And I hear it. You always say when Shane asks you what's going on, because we're fans of the podcast as well that you guys do. You say, oh, just trying to play video games. And Shane's always like, oh, yeah. And you're like, yeah, it's not going well. But then everything sort of turns back. Everything sort of turns back to golf there. And that's why here it's going to be your outlet to kind of rock and roll and get everything gaming off your chest in the podcast world. But I mean, so starting with the LA Rams hat that you're wearing right now, you grew up out there, and that's sort of where your fandom started. So you're everything Dodgers, everything Lakers. Kind of talk about where the passion came from in those sports teams and following for you.
Yeah, what's kind of funny is I'm not really a Rams fan, but this dude at the Waste Management this year, he said he was coming in. He works for New Era. I love hats, and yeah, I usually almost always wear a LA hat. So yeah, he's coming in. It was unfortunately the week after Kobe Bryant passed away, so I was going to get a Lakers hat and everything anyways because I wore a jersey on 16, and he happened to just come in, whatever, like super lucky, and he's like, hey, I got a bunch of LA hats, like if you want me to drop them off, I got Dodgers, Lakers, Rams. I'm like, sure, and I was like, I'm probably not going to wear a Rams hat, but I will if it's sick. And then I saw it, I was like, oh, I like this hat, but I'm actually really more of, I'm fortunate. I've become pretty friendly with Jared Goff. We went to college together, but I'm more of, a Packers fan because I got, I played the AT&T with Aaron Rodgers, we become buddies. So he hates that I wear this hat. I need to start wearing the Packers one a little more, but the LA thing kind of, goes hand in hand. But as far as the actual passion for the Dodgers and the Lakers, it was just growing up. I grew up on Kobe Bryant and Shaq, and I went to the Forum, I think, first, and then obviously Staples Center when it started going off. Like, it was just the most fun you could have as a kid watching, stuff that I just feel like, in 20, 30 years, we're still going to look back and feel lucky. Like, I'm going to feel lucky I got to see Kobe Bryant play basketball, especially with Shaq. So, and then obviously the Dodgers, baseball wasn't really a huge love of mine when I was young, at least watching it, maybe playing it a bit. And then, a bunch of my friends, especially my caddy, Joe, he's the biggest Dodger fan I've ever met. And, he really kind of taught me so much more about the intricacies of baseball. And I fell in love. And now baseball is probably my favorite sport to watch. So it's been fun. I try to get home now that I live in Arizona. I try to either get home to see some games, some Dodger games, or we'll go to some Diamondbacks games because it's super cheap because nobody wants to see a team that's not very good play baseball. So it's kind of nice for me.
Shots fired.
Yeah, I mean, so I think one thing I know when I was talking to Zach and getting the lowdown on kind of your teams and everything, I knew that one thing I wanted to bring up and jab at you with is that so I'm a Red Sox fan, so it's been an honor for me to see Mookie Betts not play a single play for the Dodgers yet. So that's pretty exciting. But, I think a big thing that a lot of people in the general world, kind of like me and Zach, our tap into a professional athlete's life that we feel like we have total control over is fantasy sports. So
yeah.
Do you partake in that at all? Is that something you like to do? I know obviously like betting is huge in golf as well as all other sports. So do you play in that at all? Do you do fantasy football, anything like that?
I used to do fantasy football. I'm very, very competitive, and I I first off didn't have quite like the time, I guess, whenever it was going down in the beginning. Like the first couple of times I played it with all my buddies from Valencia, I felt like I didn't get to put in enough time and research. And also they would do like this fun draft. Like sometimes like they would all either get together at a house or, one of my buddies, Steven, does it like in Vegas every year. And I couldn't ever go. So I'm on the phone and they're calling me when it's my turn to pick. And then I pick. So it's like the vibe it's not like that's supposed to be the most fun day. Right.
Right.
And then I got second one year, but I would lose a lot based off, freaking people getting injured. And it just drove me so insane that like I just couldn't keep doing it. So I kind of called it quits there, but I like the idea. I mean, it is cool. I like that they do it, for golf now. It's become very, very prevalent and popular. But it is cool. And that is like a fun way to follow more than just your team or one game, that might be on. You're following like a specific thing. Like I need the Chiefs to score, but I need, it to be a run because he's got Patrick Mahomes on his team, like stuff like that. I think it's really fun. Yeah. But yeah, I kind of got out of it. Fell out of love a little bit with it. Mostly probably because I stunk at it, but
So on the flip side of things, now that betting, as you mentioned, is involved in golf a lot and people are picking their, weekly players to win and who they think is going to finish and their dark horse. Have you ever had anyone come at you and be like, yo, dude, I picked you this week and you didn't make a cut. What the hell are you doing?
I would say that's mostly what I guess. I've had my fair share of that. In the beginning, I didn't do a great job of like just letting it roll off my back. Like I kind of was like, listen, like you don't need to pick me. This isn't my problem. I mean, I've been pretty outspoken saying I do not care if I screw up your lineup because I'm more focused on me screwing up my week. So, I mean, I wish all things would work out. But yeah, I've kind of like learned a little bit more just as, it's jokes, or even if it's not jokes, it doesn't, it's whatever. Like just deal with it. At least they're watching golf and they're rooting on. So I hope to do my best to help whoever picks me. But yeah, it's that fantasy world's tough, man. I can't promise I'm going to play right or play good the right week. So I'm doing my best. That's all I can tell everybody that's ever picked me. I'm sorry I missed the cut. I promise you it was more expensive for me than you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Kind of keep it with the fan aspect of things. As spectators watching either on TV or live or anything like that, you hear some of these crazy things people are saying, like after a tee shot, guys are screaming mashed potatoes or whatever. I guess 2-part question. One, Is that something that's funny to you or annoying? And two, what's the craziest thing you've heard someone scream after a tee shot?
Yeah, see, I don't find it that annoying. I know like that's kind of a topic of complaint, like on Twitter or something, that people yell too much. I think like it's super harmless. You barely even notice it when it happens. I guess because it's become a little bit more like it just happens more often, so it just is what it is. So it's not a problem. I mean, they're having fun. Like that's what you want people to do. Like when they go to a golf tournament, you want them to have fun. I don't know if I've heard stuff too crazy. I have my favorite one I've ever heard though was Lanto Griffin, who plays on the PGA Tour. He just won this year. A few years ago, he was on the tee at the Travelers on the first tee. I think he was in the lead or near the lead or something. So it was on TV, and he hit his tee shot, and I think he hit it good. And anybody who's ever seen him, he looks a little bit like a Harry Potter type character, or Harry Potter himself. And somebody just yelled like 10 points for Gryffindor after he hit it. I thought that was the funniest damn thing I've ever heard.
So when stuff like that happens, you say you like it when they yell and kind of make it exciting and get into things. So here at Waste Management in Phoenix at TPC, do you thrive in that kind of environment on 16? Is that something you wish there would be more of in golf and fans going crazy and getting too rowdy, or is that something you don't like?
No, I love it. I think I've played well there because I embrace it. It's kind of, I'm sure people have a love-hate. I love it. It's obviously difficult. What I've kind of explained to my little circle, the reason I enjoy it is I think that when you have like let's just say 10 to 15 people watching you throughout the day, it's very easy to tell when anybody moves or talks or something. Like it's very apparent because it's quite quiet and still. When you have like thousands, it's actually kind of good. You get a murmur and it's like white noise. Like it becomes super drowned out. And also this other part at that tournament, when people are kind of people explain it as it's a party that a golf tournament broke out at. Like golf is so secondary to like getting as drunk as you possibly can as fast as you can. So like that people aren't going to be paying attention. It's weird. It puts you in like your own bubble. Like you really, really focus on like nothing can bug me today. And it like kind of calms you down for the whole day. 16 in particular, you get kind of hyped going into it because it is different. I don't think they could do that everywhere. Arizona is the perfect place to do it. You have ASU right there, even U of A. Like you get a good, group of like college kids and also, the adults that are trying to have some fun. So I love it. It's tough to replicate other places, but it's all in good fun. Like I said, when everybody's there, there's, whatever 30,000 people up in those stands or whatever it is. Like it's all quite quiet, honestly, if you can just, dull out like the actual talking. It's just a murmur. So it's not so bad, but yeah, it's a little scary because they do boo you and they yell at you and we're not used to that. So it's like an embarrassing thing, but I've only bogeyed it once. I've yet to birdie it, but I've only bogeyed it once out of 8 times, and it was the day I wore my Kershaw jersey to the green. So it was a super bogey. This year I wore the Kobe jersey every round, and on the first day I was like, well, at least if I wear the Kobe jersey, they can't boo me. Like that would be blasphemy. And I got a nice Kobe chant every day, but I missed the green the first day and they did still boo me. So that was a little bit of a shock.
It is a little lighter of a boo, I'm sure, but yeah, they're ruthless out there. It's a fun time. We've been out there a couple times, but
yeah, it's awesome.
So I mean, speaking on to that, I mean, I'm sure there's guys on the flip side that aren't as of a fan of stuff like that, on the tour. But as an insider in that world, kind of speak to like what it's like on the tour. Like, are you guys kind of like a fraternity, or do guys like to kind of keep to themselves more? Is there a specific kind of group of guys you tend to hang out at tournaments with, or kind of what does that look like?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of cliquey, but not in like the high school like lame way. It's just people have their little like crews. So I have my group of guys. It's Joel Damon, who's out in Arizona, Taylor Gooch, Wyndham Clark, Xander Schauffele, like that, Mark Hubbard, like those are my like main guys. Sam Burns, like the guys I'd text, not only to play but maybe grab dinner or some COVID when we were actually allowed to hang out and do things. Right. But yeah, like other people have their crews. Like Kevin Kisner and Scott Brown play practice round together every week, basically with like the same guys. They do a game, so everybody's got their little groups. But it is I would say it's like less of a fraternity and like a brotherhood than like basketball and football would be. But because you get like a little, like some people travel with their family, right? Like some weeks my wife and our dog come. So like I'm not going out and meeting up with my buddies too much. I'm hanging with my family. And other people do that quite often. They have, actual real kids, not just like a dog. So they have to like hang out and take care of them, I heard. So like it's not, it gets kind of split up a little bit. But once you're at the golf course, like I said, you got your groups. And I would say that on the web.com tour now, the Corn Ferry tour, it was more fraternity, like everybody kind of trying to hang out as much as they can, because you're typically obviously not making as much money, and then you're not really flying your girlfriend or wife out to like the middle of nowhere America to spend that week.
Right.
Was it hard for you when you first got on tour, and sort of were you ever starstruck? I know you talked about sort of your game is a lot of mental, and the confidence of it is you thinking and knowing and understanding that you belong there with everyone else. But when you first got on tour and started to play events, when you got up to the range to practice, or the first tee, or paired with someone who you knew was big time, were you ever starstruck? Like, holy shit, like I'm playing with so and so today.
Yeah, I mean, even still, like a little bit. Like you play with, I haven't played with Tiger yet, but I'm sure that would be a pretty eye-opening experience. But for the most part, in the beginning, it was too much on the range. It was less like if let's just say if it was me, and let's just say I got paired with a big guy in my first year or so, like I would actually be hyped to play, because it was almost like a chip on my shoulder, like let's get this thing going. But on the range, like leading into weeks, or when I wasn't playing with these guys, I did feel a little starstruck, maybe intimidated. And it was frustrating to me, like now that I look back on it, because I didn't play well, because I think I was looking around too much, looking at what other people were doing, not really doing my own thing that had been working my whole career so far. So that was like kind of a learning experience. But as you get older, or as I got older, I just realized that it's just kind of silly. But it's still cool to get starstruck here and there. But I've met and played with mostly everybody out here. But I mean, it's still cool to play with Rory, because the gallery that comes out is wild. He's as cool a dude as you could imagine, and he's really good at golf. So it's like kind of fun to watch, but it's also fun to see. Like, I guess this is where like it's changed in my head. Like, it's fun to see where my game is compared to his, and then knowing that he is like the best golfer in the world. Like it's very rare. Like I would say this, like in a video games is probably the closest like kind of comparison you could have for like the everyday person. But like if I'm playing basketball in high school or something, or in college, there's almost a 0% chance I'll ever get to play basketball with LeBron James until let's just say I do make the NBA. So I have no real bearing on what the best is at anything. Video games, you kind of can. Like I watch, these Twitch streams of people, and I see what the best is. And I'm like, okay, like that's where someone does this different than me. And that's where like you're better. And obviously I'm like big leaps and bounds behind, but like I can see it. Where golf, like what's hard when you're coming up is the same thing as like, I'm not playing golf with the best in the world. I might be playing with the golf with the best college player in the world, but not like the best golfer in the world. So I don't know what the disconnect is, what the room for improvement is. So now you're out here, you get to see what the best in the whole world is doing. Like that's a pretty rare thing in life to say, like, I do this and I just played with the best in the world. So now I know what the best golf in the world looks like. It helps. Like you're just trying to get better, right? So even if he is the best, even if I were the best in the world, like I'm just trying to get better, and getting to play, get amongst those people, like you learn a lot. So starstruck might not be the perfect word for it, but it's still like one of those kind of jarring experiences every time. But I mean, it's just like I said, it's just more time you're out here, the less starstruck, the less kind of eyes wandering you get.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely applies. I mean, it's like you said with gaming and other sports, it's like that connection, the accessibility to a high level of performance. It's something that you seek out, and you want to emulate and be the best you can be, and take pieces from people's games and different things they do to help you to perform. But a kind of scenario question, speaking to that, talking about greatness and being able to play with it. So if you had a dream foursome, who do you think it would be? Living, dead, golfer, celebrity, actor, whatever you got. Is there someone or super group of people that you think you would want to play around with?
Oddly enough, of all the like big time names, like Arnold Palmer always would like pique my interest to get to play with him at some point. I still haven't played with Tiger, and that'd be great. But the more I've talked to my friends about this, the more I play so much golf the most fun I have on the golf course is like with my actual friends. And one of my favorite groups I've had to play, and I guess this has like a celebrity in it, so it makes the dream foursome better. But myself, my caddy Joe, Aaron Rodgers, and his caddy and best friend Eric, like we've all become really good friends. We played the Wednesday before the AT&T, and us four had a blast. We've been trying to set up another golf trip, so it's like a good medium because we have a superstar and like a celebrity and Aaron, and then we have us three just kind of bringing up the rear. But that it's just, I don't know, like it's cool to play with the best in the world. Like, but if I'm gonna have a fun like my best day, I mean, unless you could plug, I guess Tiger would be fun. I don't know, I wouldn't know, but yeah, I'd just rather. It's just I'd rather play with some buddies, know what I'm gonna get. So them three would be fun. That'd be a fun foursome.
Nice.
That's how I think it is too, and I think that's something that's great about golf is where your roots are in the game. Like it's something where it'd be nice to be able to play with someone new and meet a celebrity or someone who's at the top of the game. But family and friends, you're always gonna have a good time no matter what. But when you talk about people at the top and superstardom and on top of their game, I mean, Bryson is just ridiculous right now. I mean, after winning this week at Rocket Mortgage, but I think we've sort of gone through the baseline and the basic stuff that you probably get all the time in your background in golf. So now we're gonna kind of transition in more to the fun stuff and the stuff that we actually want to ask. So something that's been on my mind and getting a perspective from someone who's seen both of them. If we're talking UFC, like Bruce Buffer gets it started, Joe Rogan is announcing it, 5-round championship bout, like jiu-jitsu, martial arts, everything. If you put Brooks versus Bryson, who wins in a UFC fight?
I still think Brooks does. I think he's got the mentality to like mess you up. He's got the intimidation. He's got the cool factor. He's an athlete. I think Bryson is considerably stronger now, or at least I don't know. Bryson is like a tank at this point. So I think he'd be like obviously a worthy opponent, but I feel like Brooks has. He's got the athlete in him would come out for the actual action. If it was a bench press contest, I would probably take Bryson at this moment. But Brooks is the guy you'd want on your side in a bar fight. I'm picking him.
He's not afraid to play dirty, huh?
He's a big dude. He's strong. He's got that grit about him. I feel like Bryson deep down is, pretty nice, like soft guy. I feel like Brooks shows it in the majors. He's a killer, man. Like you put him in the with the lights are on and he is less scared than anybody. So you put him in a fight, I can't imagine him being all that intimidated by anybody.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, those are kind of the questions that are fun to always talk about. And I mean, I know a lot of stuff like that, funny topics, obviously comes up in gaming all the time. When you're gaming with the bros, something happens and all of a sudden you have this moment that all of you are crying laughing because something happened.
Yeah.
So I mean, gaming, like transitioning into that, how did you kind of get into gaming? How did that become a hobby of yours? What are you playing right now? Kind of what's going on there?
Yeah, so I used to play like a little bit of video games like everybody. In high school we would play Halo and Call of Duty. And then when we got to college, we did the college thing where everybody just played FIFA. Mm-hmm. And I thought I was pretty good at FIFA until I played like my first, I'm at somebody else's place. They're like playing FIFA. I was like, oh man, I play FIFA too. Yeah. And me and my roommates would play, and I never forget. I jumped on the sticks, started playing this guy, and he did something I've never even seen before. I'm like, oh god,
yeah. We're done.
In my league. So it was but we still loved it. But, as you get busier and stuff, especially, traveling for golf, it just becomes less of a priority. So I stopped playing entirely, probably like my junior year of college, not really touching a video game. And then honestly, it was like this quarantine. All my best friends from Valencia, my hometown, play Call of Duty or video games in general, but Call of Duty the last, year or so. And my buddy Steven, who was like, we were talking one day, and he's just like, it's pretty fun, especially in this quarantine, because it feels like we're all hanging out and doing like we'd be at a bar or something. We could talk, catch up instead of just texting. So fortunately, my wife, she took some persuading, but she let me get a console, set it up, and it was cool, man. Like super fun getting to talk with my buddies. One of my best friends, Zach, he only gets like 1 or 2 nights off a week. He's a police officer in California. So those 2 nights, like I try to like cross off and like make sure I'm playing just so we could like catch up on his week. You know,
Sure.
He has a crazy job. So like I like to make sure he's doing all right. And and it's fun also. But yeah, Call of Duty's been the only game I've played. I think that, you know, I'll stick with that. I love it. I had never done, you know, I'd learned a little bit about Fortnite just from watching on, you know, like, you know, just seeing stuff come across the news, but I didn't really get it. And once I played Warzone, I was like, oh wow, like this, like I grew up on video games like we all did, and I miss this like new, like it's the same video game but a new type of thing. So I at least knew how to play Call of Duty still. I was better before, but I knew the buttons. It wasn't like this huge transition, but like it was a new game to me. It wasn't just going to play multiplayer and like, you know, deathmatch, which I still love, but this Warzone thing, like the strategy of it all that, like, that's why I enjoyed it. It makes you think, and, you know, even if you're not like great at it, it's a little longer, you know, there is some strategy you can help. I always yell at my buddy Zach, who's really good at that, you know, I am not great. So I'll just yell that I'm just trying to like, you know, show some value here and there. So like, I know how to produce value. I'm really good when I run out and get shot first. And because I'm really good at seeing where I got shot from. So I can call out where the guy is. And I'm pretty good at hanging way back and yelling at everybody about what everybody else needs to do and who's coming around. So then I stay alive. Like I'm good at those 2 things. That's my value.
So you're the bait. You're the bait.
Oh,
and
I'm a magnet for bullets, buddy. I'm a magnet.
Hey, we've gotten a few games in and we've caught some dubs. So I mean, we're obviously getting it rock and rolling, and then there's all the potential there. So I just think one of the coolest things to me is everyone, like all us normal folks here, non-professional athletes in the world. It's like we go to our 9 to 5, and then our outlet is sort of either video games or something else we do is like golf to have fun on the weekends.
Yeah.
But for you, your world is like golf is your profession, and you're grinding every day, and that's like you're doing that every single day more than a 9 to 5, and video games become your outlet. And I think that's sort of cool, the crossover that we can sort of see between everything and how that happens in your life, and then being able to sort of normalize who you are down to us and get to see you on that sort of level. So I think that's kind of fun. And then you also mentioned the convincing factor with your wife. So how does Lacey take everything with you gaming all the time? And would you say you're addicted now to Warzone?
She pretends like she hates it. She's all good with it. I will say that like this past week when we were, you know, like on a little mini like staycation thing, I didn't get to play, and I'd be lying if I wasn't missing it a little bit. But I've joked with her that it's good because she could tell now, like, you know, I'll put in, you know, if I want to play or something and I'm home, it's not like she would ever say like, no, absolutely not. But it's more of a funny joke at this point. But yeah, she'll, you know, I'll be way nicer. Like I'll go do the dishes. I remember I texted my buddy Steven. I was like, yo, I just cleaned the whole house while she was gone so that tonight I could say like I'm playing games. And he goes, no way, I did the same thing. Like, we're all doing it, you know. So I would say it's actually probably a good thing. But yeah, she just likes to joke about it. She also has like watched me play for a while, and it's really frustrating because she'll be like, there's a guy right there. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how do I not see this guy and you do? Like, this is not good.
Nice. So, I mean, I know you're fairly fresh into it, but I mean, what are we talking? Are we talking PS4 or Xbox? Are we on a standard controller, headset? Like, what do you got as far as your setup goes?
PS4, I did not realize how important a real like headset is, like, or like headphones are. Like I was playing and my buddy's like, how do you not hear that guy? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how do you hear that
My
guy?
TV's 20 feet over that way.
yeah, he's like right there. He's like, he's dancing around you. So I was like, all right. So he's like, go buy whatever. So I went and got it. And then the next time I played, I was like, holy hell, this is way easier. Yeah. I keep thinking about buying one of those controllers that has all the paddles so you could like jump and that thing.
You have to, bro. Listen,
I don't think I'm going to be good enough, dude.
It takes some time. It takes some time. Give it a week and you'll never be able to go back.
Okay,
I might think about that.
You have to think of it like this, Max. So if you were to get a person who's golfing and they're getting better and better at golfing and they're starting to play a lot, and they just go to the store and their swing speed is in like, you know, the low hundreds to mid hundreds, and they just buy regular flex shafts and they get just some random iron set that they buy stock. like they're not going to be at their full potential that they could reach on the golf course. To whereas if they went and they got fit for a set of clubs, they get put in the right shaft, the right loft and lie and everything, then they're going to see that improvement and pick up some strokes. So our tips that we always have, and some that we'll share with you, and the order that we have always thought of it: headset is primarily the first one because the audio is so important in gaming. And then the next one, I personally would recommend a scuff controller. I have one of those, and I mean, you don't need 4 paddles. I have 4 on mine, but the standard one has 2, so you can literally, the biggest one is just jumping, because I have this button back here set to jump, and I can aim at the same time. So that's how you jump shot, and drop shot kids.
I'm like ready, and then it's like, what are you doing?
So you gotta pick up a scuff or one of those advanced controllers, and then lastly the monitor. Like if you're playing on like a 70-inch TV, then you're at a disadvantage right away.
You're looking around. I got that part.
Exactly. So I'm on a 24-inch gaming monitor right now, and I think Witness is on the same. So those are definitely the tips and tricks that we'd have for you in the gaming industry, but also sort of throughout the gaming industry. And your kind of brand is you've built yourself up on Twitter, and a lot of people know you for the swing roast and everything that you do with that. But I think your interactions and how you'll give the average Joe like myself or Witness or anyone who tweets at you, you try your best to kind of respond to them and say anything to them. So something that we've been noticing lately is one of the CEOs of 100 Thieves, Nade Shot. You guys have been sort of tweeting back and forth, and you've liked a couple of his videos. And he hit a hole in one the other week, and you commented on that. So first of all, have you ever hit a hole in one? That's my first question to you. And then second of all, with Nade Shot, he tweeted that he's a 17 handicap. So I want to know how many strokes you would have to give Nade Shot in an 18-hole match to beat him, or if me, Witness, and Nade played in a scramble against just your score, what would we need to beat you?
Well, first off, I have 7 holes in one.
Oh my God.
This guy.
He's got like 25 Warzone wins and 7 hole in ones.
Yeah.
Dude, get out of here.
But Nade Shot's been fun. I hope to play with him. We were talking about playing. He always wears a Titleist hat, which I appreciate. He got a hole in one. At a course I grew up kind of playing Angeles National out in northern LA. But that was pretty cool. See, like that's the thing, I guess, with everything. And I don't mean to make this deeper than the question, but I don't care if people are playing football, basketball, playing video games, like whatever. It's so cool to see how many people love to play golf and like the links you can make. So I get into this gaming thing like, I don't know, 4 months ago. Like no clue about that it's this big. I didn't really know even Twitch was as big as it is. I didn't know streaming was like a big thing. So all of a sudden I start like plugging myself into these things. I run into like Nick Merckx personally. Like I love watching him. Like he's entertaining and really good at the game. Like, so I have these people and then I see like this Nade Shot guy and he's got a freaking Titleist hat on. And I'm like, no way. Like I got to follow this guy. And then I start seeing his videos and I mean, obviously you guys are all good. So it's like fun to watch good people like be good at what they do. So then you add the golf thing in. So like, that's been fun. But yeah, if he's a 17 handicap, I usually play to a +5 or +6. So I'm giving him 22 or 23. If you guys played a scramble, unfortunately you guys sent me your swing. So I'm not super scared. But I don't know. It depends if we go play Papago, I'll probably shoot 5 or 6 under. If I'm playing in competition, I might turn it up, but I'll give you 5 or 6 under. So if you could beat that in a scramble, you probably got a good chance.
Yeah, we got to set it up when all this quarantine stuff is over. Either Nade needs to come to Arizona, or we'll go over and head out to LA, and we can all play the course of your guys' choosing. Set up a scramble and see if we can take down Max Homa. And then after that, if you beat the brakes off of us, then we're gonna go ahead and play some Call of Duty and role reversal.
I love when we're a team. I like when I can piggyback off your success. It's like I got another wing, guys.
So then I guess we'll just have to play quads 200. We'll have to set up the night and we'll just run kids.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, so I mean, getting into that, I mean, I don't know if there's an easily accessible video of Matt's swing out there, but I know we sent over our swings, and you said you weren't that worried. So I'd like to kind of hear and see what you would say about both Zach and myself as far as our golf swing goes. I know we sent those over to you a little bit ago, so give those a look. Give me the breakdown here.
So basically, I mean, Zach has the perfect, like, this is like the cheater angle. You put it real low so it looks like the ball goes really far, like out in the space, and it's really, it's just not. Like, it just can't be. Like, I saw this swing, it can't be going that far. You on the other hand, you have the posture of somebody who plays too many video games. It's round, it's just like, like I sit in a chair like a little bit too long per day.
That's true.
Golf is good for you because you like scoliosis goes away a little bit, like you straighten up, like you get completely standing straight up and down. So like golf is a healthy hobby.
I need golf to straighten my back up, apparently.
Yeah, you need to counterbalance it too.
What do you hit your 7-iron, Max?
Further than yours.
No, come on.
I hit it like in Arizona. I'll hit it like 185 at normally 175, 180.
Yeah, so the 1 in like 30 swings that I catch it clean, I'll hit it like 175. But yeah, I mean, it's not about the distance; it's all about the accuracy and putting. That's where
like
it happens.
Nice.
Yeah, it's I don't know if we would stand a chance. Absolutely.
It'd be fun. So. The whole reason we do it is fun. I play video games to get embarrassed as hell, so it is what it is. You just do what you love, and like I'm loving playing games, even if it is just absolutely frustrating, and I want to punch a hole in my TV.
Yeah, plenty of times I've played golf. I want to punch a hole in something, so that's for sure.
Me too.
So, kind of a big news as far as gaming and golf goes. So, 2K bought the rights to PGA. So, PGA 2K.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so PGA 2K21 comes out in August. Yeah, it's like August 24th, I believe. So, is that something that you would be willing to take a break from Warzone to play? You think you'll pick it up and see what it's about?
I would say almost a 0% chance I will be playing golf as my hobby.
Yeah.
No, I will say I know it's just an algorithm, but every once in a while people will be playing like an old PGA Tour video game and they'll send me a screenshot and like I'll be like in second or lead in a tournament. And like I said, I know it's an algorithm, but it feels good.
It feels good knowing the game thinks you can do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, did you really not see JT is on the cover of that? Did you not see all that?
That's what it is. My bad. I blanked. Yeah, that is cool. That's going to be fun. I'm glad they're doing. I mean, they need a golf video game. Tiger Woods back in the day was like one of the most fun games. Obviously, I'm a golf dork, but like that, it was awesome. So it's been kind of shocking that we haven't had a video game in a while. But yeah, I forgot about that. It'll be good. I mean, I probably won't play it, but I'm rooting for it to do well. I'm glad JT's got the cover. I think it's a pretty cool cover too. I mean, that's an honor to be, on a video game cover. That's badass.
Yeah.
That's like the dream, right? That's what everyone thinks about. So, I mean, so you're not playing with that. You're going to stick to Warzone. What do you think? Like, what are your aspirations as far as gaming goes? I know that you're super busy on the tour, and then also, you have the podcast thing and broadcasting side of stuff. I don't know if you'd want to do that in the future, but have you ever thought about like streaming, or is your goal to just like keep getting dubs and improving, or what's the deal?
Bro, I'm not ever gonna be good enough to stream. I mean, I was on a stream with on the Pardon My Take one, and it was a frightening feeling. Although I got 2 C4 kills, pretty much made my whole week, so I was good with it. But my goals with it, man, like it's like anything for me. I just want to see how good I can get at it. Obviously, I'm not ever gonna like detract time away from golf, but like the nights I get. I will say, as much as I want to get better, I just enjoy playing. Truly, like it's fun. It's a great distraction. It kills time. It takes my mind off of golf. I missed a cut a week and a half ago, and I played Friday night, and it was nice. Like it just like deterred me from just thinking and stewing, because that does no good, right? But like my short-term goals, like I'd love to have a 1.0 KD in Warzone, but in general, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but like that's all I really want in the meantime. But in general, like I just want to be like, I want there to be a time where I'm playing in quads and I'm the last guy alive, and like my whole team, I can't just be like, do you guys want to start over? Like, should we just like back out like that? Can't have that anymore. Like I need to have some form of confidence that like, you know what? I can do this.
It's all about the clutch factor. You just gotta feel it and be in the 1v4 situation and just lean into your gaming chair.
Guy. Like I've had my games where I've had quite a few kills here and there. Like I think I got 9 or 10 once. And if, a few times I'll get, 6 or 7, like a respectable game. But like, if it's me and I'm in a building and there's 2 guys, like, it's not going to end well. Like, it's a once in a blue moon that I get out of that building alive. I mean, it's just, I just got to get a little better, like at the close range stuff, and like the awareness drives me nuts, because I watch all these videos and everyone's like, oh, he's going to be right behind that door. And like, they open it, he's behind the door, they kill him. I'm like, okay, he's going to be outside, and like, he's always inside. Like, how do I never seem to know like what is about to happen?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing, I mean, I think you already have your own dose of medicine that you need to fix your game, is, there's a reason I have the scoliosis, and you see Nick Merckx, you got to be close to the monitor in the forehead. You got to get into it. You see Nick, you see him doing it every night, where half a quarter of his webcam is his forehead. You got to lean in and get ready. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a big part, like we said, with the equipment. Like, zero doubt in my mind, if you have a nice headset, get a controller and get comfortable on that, you will improve so much.
What headset do you guys use? I'm curious.
Yeah, so I mean, there's 2 like big, I would say, power brands as far as console headsets go. So like, I'm wearing the Astro A40s. So Astro is a big brand, and then Zach has Turtle Beaches. So
yeah, Turtle Beach. That's what I got. I got something like that.
Okay, perfect.
So I have the Elite Pro ones.
Yeah. So
okay,
I mean,
I need that.
Yeah, either one of those are good, great headsets. They've been around the gaming world forever. So
Right.
Having a good headset, that awareness you were talking about, and like knowing where guys are at, it's night and day. Like, compared to just playing on a TV or a monitor without a headset, you'll notice so much more. And it's just like anything else. It's just like golf, any other sport. It's the repetition. The more you play,
Sure.
the more you're going to get comfortable. You're going to start feeling that ability to anticipate things and know what's kind of going to happen. And before you know it, you'll be the one screaming at people 1v4 that you just clutched up. So,
well, what's funny about the awareness is one of my best friends, Josh, he's the best guy we play with. He has this PS4, and every once in a while, like, it gets, well, not every once in a while, most of the time it gets like, I don't know, it's too old, and it will make like, you can hear like the air coming out. It's coming, and he'll yell at me that I can't hear somebody coming, and I yell at him, your PS4, I can't hear anything. To the point where one night I almost bought him a new one. It was messing my game up so bad that like it was so frustrating. But that's just an excuse. I can still hear, like, I'm using that as an excuse. But yeah, the anticipation, the hearing where people are and noticing if they're behind you or on your right or left, like, that's a big deal. So I'm with you. I'm going to tell my wife that I just need more repetitions. I just got to practice.
It's the same thing. It's like banging balls on the range. I swear you're going to hate hearing this, but literally what I did. So back in the day when I was younger, I got into gaming, and you're obviously not going to be great right when you start. So what I did is I went into private lobbies where I had bots on, and then you turn off aim assist. So where like the controller helps you a little bit and locks on to guys, you literally play like that for like 20 minutes and just shoot at bots with no aim assist. You're going to miss everything, and then you turn aim assist on, and you're going to feel like Nick Merckx, like just beaming everything.
I've been wondering how to do this, because like the one thing I've got in this world is I got a great work ethic. I want to get good. I don't even know how to go into a lobby where I could do this.
Yeah. So each game's different, but like, so like in this one, if you own the full so do you own the full version of Call of Duty? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can go into a private match and just pick any of the multiplayer maps. And then in the options, you can set up like how many bots you want, the difficulty of the bots you want, all that stuff. And then as far as like the aim assist, that's just going to be in like your controller settings.
Yeah, I know that one, because I've tried to see if there was a better aim assist.
Yeah, well, in this game is yeah, and this game is crazy. There's like 4 different types of aim assist. Like before, there was just one. It was just assist. Yeah. Now there's like linear, dynamic, like there's all sorts of different ones. So I don't know about that. I've transitioned to the superior platform, as some would say, and I play on PC now. But
you're one of those guys.
I still love my Xbox, and if I need to get on the sticks, I will. But it's yeah. So I mean, what he said, it's something where it's like if you want to put in the reps, like shoot bots for 30 minutes when you're waiting for your buddies to get on, instead of just going to play with randoms, you just shoot some bots to warm up. It'd probably do you wonders.
I'm so excited to know that there's a way to practice, because especially when I'm on the East Coast, my buddies don't get off work. So I've usually got like an hour, and this is how I get better.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this.
We're going to check in with them next week.
The only other thing that I know you can do to improve, it's called centering. So literally, just where you're looking, just predict where you're going to go next, and always look where there's going to be someone. I swear, once you get good at it, it puts you so far ahead of everything.
So by centering, you mean like getting that little dot in the middle, like making sure it's never flinging all over the place?
Exactly. So always point it where guys are going to be. And that's why it pays to know the map. So like if you're walking through the front door of Superstore and you know that there's that window up top, when you're walking in, be like aimed a little vertical. So when you turn left, you're right on the window, and that gives you the upper hand in the gunfight right there.
The hardest thing about the game truly is, or Warzone at least, maybe not the hardest, but one of the hardest is just knowing the map like in and out. Because like I now know like where all the buildings are and like where people will be, but like going into certain buildings, I never remember, certain ones have 2 rooms, certain ones have the stairs that wind. Like I got the most embarrassing death ever because I 100% over anticipated, nailed this guy, knew where he was, all this stuff. Well, I thought it was one of those that had one more like floor of stairs. So I'm just like waiting by this thing, and there's like a room right here, and he just like walked out and killed me. I'm like, I did everything right, like everything right. I just didn't know that that's how this building was. Like I forgot.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the repetition thing and playing the maps. But yeah, I mean, that's the hard part too, is with all these games now and like wanting to keep everyone fresh and ready. It's like Warzone hasn't necessarily changed the map too much, but it's like they're changing these guns, they're changing all the different things. The metas are changing, what gun you should use, what gun you shouldn't use, and all that stuff. So it's like there's more to keep up, compared to like when you were talking about like when we were all kids. It's like you got on Call of Duty or Halo, and Halo per se, I run to this spot to grab the rocket launcher and the sniper, and I'm good. I don't need to worry about any of this other stuff.
Always. A video resurfaced on Twitter today of the coldest video game moment of all time. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but guy's playing Halo. It's like 1v1, and he chucks a grenade bounces or lands, blows up, shoots a sniper off the wall, bounces off the wall, he catches it, turns, and shoots the guy on the other side of the map.
Oh my god.
ESPN posted on their Twitter. So it's probably the coolest thing I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah.
That's the best. You talked about Twitch and kind of watching Nick Merckx and everyone. Who else do you like to watch on there? I noticed you didn't mention Z Hacker Witness, so I'm just
I said the one that I got into the most. So I didn't know about Witness, so I gotta start watching that one.
Hey,
I watched
there you go.
Galvanize, Mooj, and Swag. He usually runs with Nick Merckx, so I like theirs. And then wait, there's one more. I'm blanking on the other one, but those are the ones I like to watch. I also like the idea of watching the same people, so I can like get because I'm watching it to just like space and whatever, but I also like to get better. So I like to see what they do that's like consistent. So it helps a little bit. So if you keep watching a new person, you're just going to get like 80 ideas, but it helps playing with you because I can see like where your strategy or your tempo or your whatever is like different than not mine, but like my group of friends. And like I said, I have one friend that's pretty damn good, but we'll play different. So like, then it will help because I can suggest like a different like pattern or whatever to go through. So that's fun. But yeah, I mean, I'll watch if people are up on the Twitch, I'll watch it if I got time. I don't care who it is. I'll watch just about anybody. But now I got a new one, so now I got a whole other 30 minutes to cut out of my day.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, no, we for sure gotta. I don't play Warzone's one of those things that like I'll play occasionally with Zach. And like a couple other buddies sometimes, but like I'm kind of on the other side. Like I said, I play a lot of like League of Legends. I don't know if you ever heard of that or seen
my
that,
buddy told me about that.
Yeah, so like I play a lot of that. So like every once in a while, Zach will be want to play with me enough till I can join his God squad to play. But yeah, no, we definitely got to get a squad or trios round in so we can play.
My issue is I can't like learn to play a new game. So like Call of Duty was going to be easy because I knew how to play the game. Like I'm not going to spend time like away from like, cause I didn't have to spend time like this stuff I do like at night or on my off day.
Right.
But if I have to learn to play a whole new game, it's going to be so infuriating and time consuming. I can't.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that people just keep playing Call of Duty until I give up on video games. Cause like these new things, man, like I feel so old all of a sudden playing video games. Like you feel like you lost like 30 years in like 4 years.
For real. Yeah.
Rocket roll it, and then just the way that everything grows. I think Call of Duty will be something that's here for a long time.
Yeah,
but
they do a good job.
Yeah, I think it's so cool how it's like helped so many people grow. And like you said, I think it's awesome how you can dabble in from the sports world into the gaming community. Cause you said you didn't know how big Twitch was. And then now you're watching these guys, and just to put it into sort of simple terms for you, like Nick Merckx has 50,000 plus subscribers now. Kyle and I, we used to watch him like 4 or 5 years ago. We were one of his like 200 or 300 subscribers.
Yeah,
and then now he's up to like 50,000. But the best thing about him is he has not changed one bit. We actually, we went to a Call of Duty event a couple of years ago and met him in Anaheim and like went drinking at the bar with him and stuff. And it's just like, he's the exact same guy you see on camera. So it's just,
that's good to hear.
Yeah. It's like the worlds can connect, which is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun to like explore and find new people, like you're saying. Like, I've found so many people on Twitch that like, you know, if it's smaller community streamer guys, like I'll spend some time at nights because obviously like both of us are small streamers, so like I'll like flip the settings upside down on Twitch like after we're done streaming, so like you see all the people that are, you know, only 5 to 10 or whatever viewers. And you know, I've found like I have a group of guys now that I play with all the time that like we all just like randomly found each other from streams. And so it's like now it's like, you know, I had friends there, one's in Minnesota, one's in Indiana, you know, so it's like you can make these connections from all over the place.
Well,
I think
that's the coolest part.
Yeah, exactly. That's the funnest part about it, is just like being able to meet new people, getting different perspectives on life and games and whatever. And, you know, just keeping, you know, friendships going too. Like you said, you know, you playing with buddies across the country, you know, so it's like, it's a nice way to connect. You know, like you said, it's almost like going out to a bar. You're just talking over a beer, but it's instead of over a beer, you're talking over, you know, Warzone. So
that's what really like drew me into it again, was just the like community aspect of it and hanging with buddies. And like even if it wasn't quarantine, like I can't go home very often. Like, you know, I'm on the road a lot, so it's nice to like catch up with everybody. And I've made like 3-4 new friends just simply from playing video games. You know, like there's a couple guys from my hometown that I wasn't super close with, and we play, you know, some nights now, and it's like, wow, that's weird. You know, we lived in the same hometown and now we're friends, and you know, it's just through this. So, you know, go home and we'll play golf or whatever now. So yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just I will also say the gaming community for the most part, when it's not like super toxic, when people are screaming all kinds of whatnot at each other, you know, everybody's just trying to have a little bit of fun. It's kind of like the skateboarding world in the sense that it's a little bit like alternative. So people don't take themselves like too seriously. That's why I like Nick Merckx. Like, just today, like I was watching one of his streams, and he and Swag were playing duos, and he's shooting at this guy, and he like shoots a bunch of bullets, and he misses every bullet. It's from a mile away, but he misses every bullet, and he just goes one shot, and then he like looks at the camera and like smiles. And you're like, this is cool. Like he's not, you know, he's I guess, you know, the most popular guy or whatever, but he's not taking himself too seriously. It's kind of, you know, that's the fun part, where I live in a world where people who stink at golf take themselves too seriously. So it's a nice, refreshing change of pace.
Right. I saw him do that in the Gulag the other day too. He was playing with Neo, and they both got in there, and his character, he's literally looking at the wall, and Neo's in the Gulag, and he's like, he's to your right, he's back left, he's pushing mid, he's going, yep, right there, fall, yep, go at him. He's not even looking at the guy, and Neo's like, dude, he was to my left.
It's so great, dude. It's very funny. Yeah, he see, like his thing is like I've watched like this, you know, the smaller streamers, and I like the gameplay. I would never notice a difference, but it's great, you know. But the difference with him is truly like he's an entertainer. Like he is incredibly entertaining. He takes very few breaks in talking and being like fun or whatever. And you're like, wow, like this is like, you feel like it's a production where like one of my favorite guys to watch is that Galvanized guy, because he's like the best I've ever seen, basically. But he doesn't have the same like, I don't know, like Nick Merckx has figured it out. But it sounds like it's just that's who he is. Like he's a pretty fun dude. Then like it comes through there, and he just happens to be a fun guy who's really freaking good at video games. So like it's a perfect storm. And then you get this quarantine where everybody's, Twitch kind of blew up in the last, I would say, 4 or 5 months. So that it all worked out pretty nicely.
No, for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like, we could spin circles forever going about gaming and what it's like, the vibes, the bros, all the good moments and all that stuff. But to kind of let people get one more poke inside of who Max Homa is, we made a list kind of these like this or that or scenario type questions for you. So, I think me and Zach are gonna kind of fire back and forth here on a couple of these. So Zach, you wanna start off? I don't know if you had one you came up with off this list or not.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm trying to think of the best ones that I want to ask. So before we get into this or that, what did you do after you won the Wells Fargo in 2019? What did you drink? What was your drink of choice? How was the celebration? I want to get the inside scoop there.
Yeah, well, like I had to check out of my hotel that day, so I had all my bags and nowhere to stay. So first of all, you end up being at the golf course for like 2 hours after doing all kinds of media and signing stuff or whatever. So I was planning on going out and getting as drunk as I could, as it's the most fun place I could, and I never made it out. I ended up going back to my caddy Joe was staying at a host family's house, and he had ordered us food and he had booze, and I was basically on the phone all night drinking tequila as fast as I could. I didn't get nearly as drunk as Joe did, but yeah, we just had fun. Then I had a flight at like 9 a.m. It sucked, but adrenaline pushed me through. But I wish the story was a lot better but it's weird. Like I wasn't done doing all my stuff till 9:30. And the biggest bummer about golf, I've now won three professional golf tournaments. They all end on Sunday in golf, and Sundays aren't really that fun of a night. So you end up just like drinking a beer, maybe with a buddy, and then going to bed.
What's your so outside of celebration, what's your drink of choice? Are you a beer guy or are you more of a mixed drink guy?
No, I like tequila. I can't drink vodka anymore. College broke me. I can't do it anymore. I love tequila, so if I had a choice, I'd drink that.
Straight,
I'm not super picky, but I'll drink Bud Lights like they're going out of style. But if I'm I don't know. If I'm out and about, I'll either drink a Bud Light or tequila. But the beer, man, I'm getting older. It makes me feel very, very, very fat. So
it's gonna get your dad bod. Yeah, the dad bod's gonna get going. But you're King Peloton, so you'll be all right there. What have we got? Let's see. What are we going? Dine in or delivery?
Right now, it has to be delivery. I'm not allowed to dine in.
On a normal time, though, if the world's in a normal spot.
I like it. I don't know. It depends where I am, but I would say when I'm on the road, I'll deliver, or I'll pick up or delivery a lot, just because I don't know. I kind of keep to myself. But when I'm home, I like to, it's a nice kind of change of pace to go out, dine in, meet some people, like have some human interaction. On the road, you don't get a lot of that. So
sure. I think this one might be one of the most important questions in the time of man. So,
wow.
Toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Gotta be over. I've never met someone that says under, but for some reason it's still a debate.
Bro, I stayed at my caddy's house last week in San Diego, and his was under, and I'm thinking about firing him.
Well, make sure he hears that.
That was the biggest break to stay on the topic of conversation. I never knew until I heard it on another show. I think it was the Dan Le Batard show. Some people there's a difference between standing and sitting wiping. Some people stand.
Yeah, so I had never heard that before either.
That's what I'm saying.
Mike Blake talked about it, and I think it was because of the Le Batard show. And I was like, listen, now I know. This is actually a weird segue into why this country's people get so angry at each other. That truly shows me that people have different perspective on things, because that's never even crossed my mind. I thought there was one way. I thought everybody did it the one way. I thought everybody should do the over toilet paper. It shows everybody's got different tastes.
So which way is your right way then?
I'm standing all day. I'm not tucking my hand. That's just not happening.
Yeah, you dip it in your own water afterwards.
That's a sketchy move.
Oh man. Save. Are you a saver or a spender?
I feel like there's no question good after this question.
I know it's hard. It's hard to top that one.
I'm a saver, but that's just because I get free golf stuff, and that's like the most expensive stuff you could imagine.
Yeah.
So there's just like not a lot to spend on. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm getting a new controller, so I'll
Yeah,
you
there.
are.
And a monitor.
And a monitor. I don't know. I'm not big on spending. I don't, I have what I like, so it's hard to. I don't know. I don't spend recklessly.
Yeah.
My mother would kill me.
Yeah, I hear that.
When you're trying to earn those gaming hours and be on the good side of Lacey, are you doing laundry or dishes or vacuuming, or like what's going to impress her the most?
Dishes help a lot. That's kind of my forte. I'm good at it. I'm really good at it. Yeah,
the circular stroke.
Dude, I mixed it up. Sometimes it's circle, sometimes it's not. It just depends. It depends the stand. So usually dishes, anything in like the kitchen living area, because like that's where she's gonna be watching TV while I'm playing games, so it needs to feel nice, So it can't have dishes piling up. So that's usually the go-to move.
So when you guys are taking a break from everything, you got time between tourneys. You're trying to get away, enjoy some time together. Are you more like mountainside or are you like oceans?
I like oceans. That's why we were in San Diego. Like the mountain stuff has grown on me living in Arizona. Just a little bit more of the rugged terrain and not the coastline. So it's grown on me. But I don't know. I'm a Southern California kid, man. Like I don't even go in the ocean that much, but I like to know that it's close by.
Yeah,
It's a comforting feeling for me.
Hey,
bowling or golf?
Oh man, I forgot about that.
It still fires me up, man. I don't get it, but I learned a ton about bowling. I mean, I guess that's the good news. I really dove into some bowling stuff that I had no idea about. That. I mean, I can't rep golf more about being harder. It's just golf times a million. No one's ever taken a kid's party to a golf course because it would be the worst day of your life.
You've thought of so many scenarios to explain why golf is harder. Like, I know that keeps you up at night and you're in the shower thinking about how you can get in an argument with someone.
Always.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to that podcast of you and what's his name? Shane. Sorry.
I call him that too.
Yeah, there you go. And I was laughing so hard because you guys were talking about what's the best bowling score you've ever had and like whatever, and you're like, okay, if the average guy can bowl over a 200 sometime in his life, but the average person is rarely ever going to shoot under par on a golf course, it's like, is there even
under 100? The average golfer is a 20 handicap, just the average. So the argument got muddied. I just said, I actually didn't really say anything. This other bowling guy Sean got into it. But I wasn't saying that professional golf is much harder than pro golf. Professional bowling is not harder than pro golf. Do I think that? I think pro golf is much harder than professional bowling. But I don't know enough. So I'm not I'm not going to get into the intricacies. But the thing just said, what's harder, bowling or golf? So that's for the mass public. Like, if you took somebody bowling and it was their first time ever bowling, like, it'd be pretty fun, and like they'd knock some pins down. If I took somebody to play golf their first time ever, we wouldn't finish.
Yeah.
Like, you can't finish. You need like months of practice just to get on a full golf course. So like that was my argument. So it got muddied, and then like I take everything way too far. So like then it got into like the weeds. But I mean I think golf is like considerably harder. But it was cool learning. I didn't know about this bowling. They got different topography and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
you love that word now. That's your favorite word.
Topography.
It's because it's the only real word that I heard that like sounded like inside lingo. So I don't know how to use it.
Witness, man, you got anything else you want to ask Max before we let him go here? Do you think we've covered all the bases?
Nah, I mean, I think we're good. I think we had a nice little blend of everything. I think the only question we need to know, which is the most important, is when are we going to get a Warzone dub together?
Anytime. I have 2 weeks here. I'm gonna go make sure that the internet works fast enough so I can play. So
There you go.
I'll be on for 2 weeks. Just not days. I have an early tea time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna grind it out. We're gonna go on a streak here eventually, because
All right.
I mean, it's gonna happen. Like you said, you're the team player. You get it done. You're the bullet magnet. We all know our roles now. We've discussed it.
That's all
we have
need.
the strategy.
Good, and I'll tell you where everyone's shooting from.
Perfect.
Oh man, perfect. Hey, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to episode number 5 of the Z Hack and Witness Show. Everyone, go show Max some love on Twitter. You can find him at Max Homa 23. Maybe send your swing to him to get roasted, but he's taken a little sabbatical from that. He's slowed it down a little bit. It got a little out of control for him, but we always appreciate it. Super down to earth. We're always rooting for you on the tour. We appreciate you taking the time to do this. And before we let you go, Max, I have something for you. We got you a little parting gift here. I know you've mentioned how much you love Titleist and the Dodgers. So we got you the Titleist LA gift. So next time you're back in town in Arizona, we can come meet up, or you know where to come find me at Papago, and we'll go ahead and deliver you your gift. So just a token of our gratitude, and we appreciate it, man.
Hey, I appreciate that a lot. I'm excited to come home now. And thanks for having me on. This was super, super fun. I cannot wait to play a little Warzone with you guys.
We're going to get it rocking, going to get it rolling. Thanks so much, everyone, again, for episode 5 of the Z Hack and Witness Show. We will see you next time. Peace.
Later.